Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to episode 42 of the Role Slayers podcast. Thank you for joining us, all these lovely people around this table, and myself. I'm lovely, I guess.
Yes.
Before we get into tonight's game, as always, words from our sponsors.
World Anvil. Sorry, I cut in front of you there.
Ooh.
Go for it.
Check out World Anvil. It's it's a great world building tool where you can keep track of all the the types of things that you want to include in your world. Make your world weird and keep track of it. Keep track of the weirdness with World Anvil. That should be their slogan. Keep track of the weirdness.
Do you have a link for us,
We
John?
do have a link. It's our affiliate link because we are affiliated with them. worldanvil.pxf.io/rollslayers.
Bingo.
Check them out.
Yeah, and then the other two things that we work. The other.
Every time.
Threw you off there, didn't I?
Every
It
time.
has to do with sounds.
Mouth Foley.
People are going to think you're starting to plan this.
No, I dove into. Who is that guy? What's his name? The actor.
Austin
No.
Powers? I don't know.
I'm not
No,
having
you all
anything
know.
to do with this.
Gosh, now why? Jeff Goldblum.
Oh,
okay.
okay. It makes
Yep.
sense.
Anyway, yeah. Anyways, BeyondSkyrim.org. They are a group of composers put together a project for the expansion of the Skyrim game series. The music is beautiful and it's perfect for our campaigns. So check them out for your own music if you want to use that. Also, check out Sirenscape.com, where you can turn certain sounds on and other sounds off and craft your own beautiful deep dungeon or bloody walled depth of the nine hells or a bar and a brawl. I'm done here. I got it. Sirenscape.com.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Painting with sound, and you're creating this canvas. Yes,
Exactly.
Just all these sounds.
And you go, I want this one to be super loud and this one to be kind of a little bit quiet. And those are sliders, and you slide them.
Wondering
someone
when
walks-
the sliders were going to
If someone
come.
gets farther away, you can turn their slider down as they get farther from the adventurers.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Last but not least, thank you to Eldritch Foundry. If you decide to make an Eldritch Foundry Mini, then you get 15% off in your checkout with the code ROLLSLAYERS. Follow us on social. We got Instagram. We got Twitter. We don't tweet. We got
Instagram.
Facebook.
Which is the
Instagram.
best use of Twitter.
We have a YouTube. We have a TikTok. We have
Facebook.
the Discord. Yep.
If
Facebook.
If you're missing Hayden, check out the Discord because he is
He is
constantly
there.
posting AI
The best.
pictures.
Yeah,
The
AI
best.
generated
Of, like,
He is the
meme
best.
pictures.
Beavis and Butthead as Santa Claus
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Never see it coming.
Wait, did he do that?
No.
Did I
He
miss
did
that?
Satan Claus, but the reason why
Yes.
you're thinking of Beavis and Butthead was because the most recent Die Hard as a cartoon
Yeah, it looked like Beavis and Butt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I agree. I thought it was the first thing I thought. I'm so
That was the
glad.
first thing I thought.
Oh my gosh, we're the same person. We are so much like the same person.
I
You
say
look
to
at
one of
them and
them,
say,
you want ice cream cone? Both of them say yes.
What in the hell?
What is happening?
I don't know.
With that, let's dive into episode 42 before I lose my
God,
sanity.
what are we on?
All right.
You know Mario twins as well?
So, last we left off, the Guild of Goodwill departed from the city of Drasbur, heading south along the Redress Channel, attempting to circle around back into the Ascendancy and up east and then north to Urungal, avoiding much of the tension in the north. As they went, they found themselves followed by a large bird, who they diverted with a sack of meat, charbroiled by magic,
Yeah.
It's such a good idea.
as well as a small group of bandits, which they dispatched
With another great idea.
quite efficiently,
Quite seductively.
without even having to use the damsel in distress plan.
That's what we
It's
did.
surprise round, and we knocked two of them
That's
out.
true. The
Yeah.
surprise round, actually,
Yes.
yeah. And then they bedded down for the evening, knowing that they would hit Ozran probably by the end of the next day of travel. So, could I have 2 d20 rolls for me, please?
Somebody else. I've rolled a lot of those.
I'll
Y'all
roll
go
one.
for it. Yep.
I have a 5. 5.
Okay. A 5
It's a 19.
and a 19.
Another
I'm watching Tyler's facial expression.
So,
Uh,
the night comes and goes. And in the morning, you see circling above you in the mountains a large bird
No. No, we don't.
sort of following along.
We have more meat still, right?
But the light clouds do persist, making it harder for you guys to spot, you feel. I think y'all used all the meat.
No, we didn't say that we used
We
all-
didn't.
I think someone said that.
Nope.
We just dumped some out behind us.
Okay.
We didn't specify we dumped it all out.
Gonna continue to.
We
Okay, I'll
have-
say
we
you
have an-
probably used about half your meat last time.
we have an
Right.
inordinately large amount of meat because of
Thank
Vern's
you,
bad
Vern.
estimation
Thank
abilities.
you,
The
Vern.
gift
We
that
do.
keeps on giving, apparently.
250 pounds. I think we used 50
The first time.
the first time.
We're old snaggletooth.
Mhm. I'm saying you probably used about 100 yesterday.
Great. We have
Just pouring it,
100
charbroiling
pounds.
it.
her.
100 pounds of meat
I can't
left.
wait for Hayden to listen to this.
He's gonna like shout vindication or something.
To be fair, like I'm thinking of how big the condor is. You know, brisket's what, like 30 pounds?
No. Yeah, I don't
No,
know.
that's like 12
Heavier,
pounds.
right? I don't know. I don't know weight.
But a brisket compared to a gargantuan bird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna need a lot more, and it also might have others to feed.
Nah.
Okay, 100 pounds. Okay.
It was
We're
enough for
good.
the last one.
Yeah.
So we have reasonable.
Yeah,
This
exactly.
this looks to be the same bird.
It's this. Okay.
The
Then we
same-
can
it
get
looks
rid
to
of
be
it
the
Because
same
we
way.
rolled the same
Well,
number.
It doesn't
Yeah.
see us. It doesn't seem to see us because the cloud.
No, we don't seem to see it.
It's a little bit of both.
All right.
It doesn't
well,
see us. We don't see it. Everything's great.
Damn.
So,
Oh,
what would you like to do today?
Keep on
Continue on.
trucking.
I believe that rock is following us again.
You gonna do the meat?
you probably enjoyed. Let's wait for it to get closer if we're going to use our ripcord. I
Okay.
think the meat is a very good way to say, don't eat us, eat this instead.
Yes, exactly.
So let's travel on as though we don't see it. If it gets too close, we'll just offload the meat.
Yes.
Perfect.
All right.
Because the other factor to consider is the longer we don't use the meat, the nastier it gets.
In the bag of holding?
Imagine
Yeah.
that we probably do need to rid ourselves of this meat before we reach our next heading.
If
Not a
it's-
bad idea.
If it's so high above us that we can barely see it, it's probably not going to notice the meat that we offload right now. So let's hold it. Hold the action until it's closer.
Yeah, I think we're keeping it in the freezer section of our local bag of holding.
Yeah.
Yes.
We could have left some of it in Stephanos' room. That would have been a pretty neat prank.
What was
But
it?
hindsight is 50-50.
What was it that Ryan wanted to put behind our bed? A dead fish?
Yeah. He didn't want to. He just had the idea and also told us about it.
But he had the idea and was gonna do it.
He wasn't going to do it. He told us about it. Anyway, that's neither here nor there.
So we're moving on.
Yeah. And about a quarter of the way through the day, you start to see through the clouds every now and then the feathered shape of a bird growing larger and larger, circling slowly down.
Okay, so it's starting to get a bit closer, too close for my comfort. So let us start to maybe do something similar to what we did before.
Or we could try Tensor's trampoline this time. Switch it up a bit.
I mean, our plan last time worked well for us. I don't understand why you would need to fix what's not broken.
Well,
I say we
Fair enough.
employ the
Tensor-
same strategy.
Absolutely. And I will look around for a place to put up a hedge of protection.
Let's check with the DM to see what we see, though. Is it coming down? The altitude, is it the same as the last time we tried the trick?
Yeah, it seems to be kind of moving. So, are you guys doing the meat flamethrower?
I'm checking with you to make sure
It
it's not
is.
still
It
way
is
high in
circling closer and closer down to you.
there. Well, I just didn't want to offload
like-
meat and then find out, it's like 500 yards up still, and
No,
it could
no.
not smell the
It's
meat.
it's getting closer, and it
Okay.
also has pretty keen eyesight. You can gather.
Okay, well then, time to go. Go time.
All right. And so I will dump out the meat in a high point. If we can find a high point where, if it doesn't make any sense, then not.
Sure.
But if you would find a place where it was kind of high, Cyrus, come on, I'm gonna need you to cook this meat, and just to, and then he'll also use prestidigitation to sort of create more of a blood smell about the meat
Okay.
to lure it.
As you're kind of cooking and
And I'm going to cast grease on it first as
Yeah,
well,
get
just
it
to
nice
see if
and
we can
spitting.
get some extra aroma.
Yeah.
And let's just get farther away from
And
it.
then I'll cast invisibility on both of us.
Okay. As you guys are kind of, cooking up this meat and, casting invisibility, you see it kind of circle tighter and tighter and then steep dive. You see it swoop down and grab about like a quarter of it, like just chunks in its talons. This thing is huge. The biggest thing you've probably ever seen, like as big as an N. And it just is gone again. You're buffeted by this air as it almost knocks you off your feet. And then it's in
Cyrus, let's
the
get
air
going.
again.
Yeah, let's not linger here.
Kind of maybe pick up the pace a bit.
Yeah, so we'll come back to the group and then, yeah, I guess we'll just be, I don't know. Yes, let's get going.
Sure. As you continue on throughout the day, you see that the rock make a few more dives in the background that it doesn't seem to pursue. The rest of your day is nice. The hills are kind of leveling out even more now, and you're kind of in rolling grassy plains, wild like sunflowers and poppies growing in the fields, as well as like wild grains on occasion, trees with apples and some with like pears. And this is probably one of the more idyllic places you've seen in quite some time. It's the most hospitable compared to the jungles and the savannas of the apostasy. And around evening, you start to make out a settlement on the horizon. Buildings start to rise in the distance as you seem to be coming into town, into the town of Ozran. Some of you may know it. It's a leisurely halfling village. But as you kind of come into town, it's built, across a river, so there are a few bridges linking both sides of the town, but it's rolling hills and meadows and little halfling houses of wood with these sod roofs that you've seen in previous villages. Not quite hobbit holes, but like sod roofs, and then just like almost little log cabins below them. And one big inn building. And then off in the distance, in all directions, you can see larger estates. If you want to make a history check, you can, ascendancy folks.
I'll make one. 7.
7. Looks like some fancy people live here, maybe.
I'll make one.
I was going to ask if
9.
Fancy people live here.
Ooh,
Maybe.
so fancy.
I was going to ask if maybe Vinny, I don't know how
A
much
19.
travel happened between Alinar and this place, seeming to be more of a peaceful place, or I don't know if it's like a vacation spot or.
Alinar would not probably get to Ozran, maybe to Oromond, and then they have a embassy in Urungal, but they don't really get. Ozran's kind of off the beaten path. There's only one road that leads to it from Urungal. Basically, it kind of branches off the main road. With that 19, Rachel, yes, this is a vacation destination / a retirement destination for a lot of wealthier people, since it's such a nice little idyllic village. A lot of wealthier folks of the Ascendancy come here to spend their twilight years among the gentle and kind halflings. And they never lack for food here either.
Such a nice town.
But you come into town, it's very peaceful. There does seem to be an inn if that's what you're looking for. If you have other business within town, just let me know.
Should we perhaps rest here for the evening? It seems like quite an idyllic place for us to stall.
I would not mind at all spending some time here.
Yeah, it seems lovely. We're out of old ugly meat, aren't we?
Should we pick up some more?
Yeah, replenish our supply.
Probably should.
Just in case we roll any more 5s or 19s, I don't know which.
I wouldn't want to be without rotten meat.
I mean, it comes handy in a pinch.
We have a bag of holding. We might as well.
It has helped us out on 3 separate occasions.
Tremendously.
So you're swinging by the inn. I assume you're purchasing some meat on the way out of town tomorrow morning.
Maybe.
Sure.
Okay, let me know if you do want to. I'll calculate how much that's going to cost.
Rotten meat.
But you swing by. There's this. It's a 2-story building, like by the river. It's got like a small, looks like a garden patch in the back, as well as a little stable with like a few pigs and ducks and geese. And it's called the Early Bird Inn. You enter to a warm, cozy establishment. Not quite the height of a regular humanoid, but comfortable enough for your heights, except for maybe Lynn, you're probably scraping right up against the ceiling. But
Yeah.
the rest of you feel comfortable, if not a little squished. There are many different little groups of halflings drinking and eating and carousing. And there's a woman at the bar, kind of tending to everyone, who clocks you when she comes in. Hi, what can I do for you? Welcome to the Early Bird Inn.
And Vinny and Halfling would say, hello. Thank you for your welcome. We would love to spend the evening here. We will require, and he'll turn around and comment, 2 rooms?
Cyrus will say in halfling also, and a bottle of red wine if you have it.
Yeah, I can do that. How many rooms again?
2?
2 rooms is adequate.
Yeah.
2. Okay. We'll put that at 10 silver for a room. So I guess just a gold. So 2 gold for 2 rooms, and then some wine. That'll run you 2 silver for a glass of wine.
That sounds perfectly reasonable.
Okay. Make yourselves at home. We've had dinner already, but I can whip something up for sure.
All right. Is anyone hungry?
Yes,
I'm hungry.
quite hungry.
Okay. And she bustles back into the kitchen if you guys want to grab a seat. Eventually, she does bring out kind of like this thick barley stew, as well as some mashed turnips and a plate of eggs.
Man, she's gonna dig into both of those, Lynn. She just love those.
I don't know about you guys, but it feels nice to have the smell of rotting meat no longer in my nostrils. I'm gonna take a
Don't
big,
disagree.
big bite.
Do not disagree at all. Yeah, I was wondering, I'd asked Cyrus this, but I never really got around to get a beat on where you, Bells, and Alin are with all of the recent happenings, the Civil War, and what are you thinking? What's on your mind? Are you concerned for family or friends or?
Well, of course I'm concerned. I'm extremely concerned, but I think this is larger than all of us.
Yes, I'm not quite sure what I think about the ascendancy and the apostasy and all of the political leanings and the tetrad. I really don't know what to think about all of that, but I know that my family is involved in at least some of it, and regardless of my confusion, I do still love them and I'm concerned for them.
So, I have to ask, it is a bit of an elephant in the room. We don't take political leanings as the Guild of Goodwill. But if friends and family do, and we have made friends in Jasper, and everyone has friends in the Ascendancy. I know I have most of my acquaintances, though they not be, politically aligned so much. There are a few that might be in Oromond, and you seem to have a little bit more. I don't know. Where do your family, where are they going to fall? On what side will they fall? Urungal or Oromond?
My family's in Scott Heller. Nobody pays attention to them. I mean, they're just the backwoods. They're fine.
Okay.
Okay. I'm hazy on all of the politics.
Mhm.
So, what would make sense for Langleys are loyal to, the Blackthorn Ascendancy.
Uh-huh.
So, what would their take on this be? If it's Oromond versus Urungal, it seems like just they're 2 towns.
Well, so Urungal is, the Duke of Oromond has seceded from the Ascendancy, right? They are saying we're no longer a part of it. This territory within my realm is no longer a part of it. So really what you have to ask yourself is, would Uridian be loyal to his Duke, now King of Valaka, or would he be loyal to
The king.
the High Imperator of the Ascendancy, Damian Blackthorn?
That's a tough one. Woman's trying to think of what she knows of her father. He's just a good man. A type who takes care of orphans and allows himself to be tricked in order to help people who are down on their luck. That someone tries to pull a scam. Oh, I'm hurt, and sees the ruse and goes here's have some. I don't know. I don't know the characters enough to say the Duke or the High Imperator.
Sure. Lynn would say it's about, an 80-20 split. 80% probably backing the Ascendancy, maybe 20% he's going to back the Kingdom of Elanco. You're not exactly sure.
She's probably going to relate that in conversation, but we're loyal to the crown. My family would be loyal to the crown, is her guess.
I think there's a healthy amount of. I think there's a healthy middle where maybe we don't have to immediately choose sides. I mean, one thing I know is that having an opinion on everything is exhausting and often locks you into, positions that you wouldn't ordinarily take just by virtue of you having made some other loyalty without taking other things into consideration. And
Yes,
if
exactly.
you can very quickly find yourself locked,
if you
kind of riding yourself into
Yeah.
a corner.
if you take a
Yes.
side as soon as there are sides to take every time, then you never have room to. You're constantly in a place where you're looking at things through someone else's lens that they've created for you, and never really able to
Right.
step back and look at anything with any sort of objectivity.
Yes, I agree completely.
Well, admittedly, I don't have much objectivity. However, that has been more for a disdain of all political figures who do not have my interest at hand. So it's been more of a lookout for number one. However, I don't disagree with you at all. And it's okay if Alin, wherever they fall, family is family. I couldn't imagine. I don't even know what the civilization of Alanar is contemplating. I assume they're probably keeping to themselves like they always do. It would be interesting to know. What about you, Bells?
I really can't say. My father would just go wherever he feels the most power is. And I imagine that he would follow Adrian, being close to him. I really don't know.
Well, newly formed governments are a quick ascension into power. It
That's all
seems
my
to be a bit of a
father
fact.
cares about. Yes.
I don't know much about politics, but I know something about climbing ladders.
I don't particularly care myself, honestly. I'm tired of caring.
So, we will form a new way.
Well, I think for now we can say our allegiance is to the Guild of Goodwill, and we can work from there.
Yes, I agree.
Agreed.
Well, we do know that we at least stand up for those who do not stand up for themselves,
Cannot.
or cannot.
Precisely.
Yeah, we don't necessarily have to pick one side or the other. We can pick a third way.
Also, coin.
Well, I mean that goes without saying.
It feeds us, at the very least. Anyway,
We have
thank you for
plenty of
entertaining
coin.
me.
That's not something
Yes.
we really particularly need to care about currently.
I suppose I could put myself up and in for quite some time.
Sure, but we also do need to consider that we need to replenish our supply of meat.
Oh, yeah.
I can take care of that if it's a problem.
Oh, great. We'll delegate that responsibility over to you, Bells.
Well, hopefully those
Perfectly.
brigands, we have about 30 gold from the brigands, and I can pay for tonight's meal and the wine. from that party fund. I haven't quite allocated it to my own fund, so
I'm sorry, did you say the party fund or the potty fund?
Well,
It's like when you go,
depends on what
when
tree
you go
decide
into a
to
party.
do we need a potty fund?
A birthday party.
Well,
A
you know,
golden bedpan for everyone.
I mean, it is.
No.
I mean, it is a valid question because Urungal is one of those cities where they do charge you to use the public toilets.
Is that,
Excuse me, I have
can I roll history?
none of
Is he
this
writing that? Is he
experience.
writing this right?
I
Sure,
spent
sure,
quite
make a
some
history
time in
check.
Urungal.
I'm gonna see if this is true. They charge you to use the restroom. 14.
They don't necessarily charge you to use public restrooms. However, you have to be a paying customer usually in any establishment to use their chamber pot.
That's quite normal. That's not charging you to use public restrooms.
If you're not a customer, do they make you slip them a gold piece to say, "But I'm a customer"?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll work.
That's all the same. I mean, you always have to be buying something in order to be able to use the restroom. It's a terrible system.
Either way, thank you for the entertaining conversation. Hopefully, I don't mean to pry, but I am a bit curious, knowing that we are trying to keep away from any hardline allegiances. Sir
It's important
Langley,
to know.
barring Sir Langley's allegiance to the crown of the Blackthorn Ascendancy.
Yes.
We are still chasing potential slave traders, correct?
Yes, that's my goal with going to Urungal.
I am for it, absolutely.
It seems like they waged the war above, and we will go down to the depths, down to the underbelly. We will fight the hidden fight below.
Yes.
And that's sometimes what they mean to do is sort of a distraction with one hand while the other hand is working something underneath. Anyway, maybe we head off the problem at its root and get a little closer. But who's to say?
Tonight, let's just relax and enjoy what we have.
And celebrate not being eaten by a giant bird twice.
Yes, we succeeded twice.
Here, here.
And that performance, Alin, that was something. Oh, I will not forget that.
She goes scarlet. She just like looks very embarrassed
As she goes-
she remembers exactly what everyone saw her do.
As she goes scarlet, Cyrus is going to cast Minor Illusion again.
Oh my
Like,
goodness.
Can we have just a little reprisal?
She's gonna shake her head and like run off in embarrassment.
Oh.
Now look what you've done, Cyrus.
It was exquisite, though.
And we
Wasn't
did get the jump on those brigands.
Yes,
It's true.
It was quite effective.
And I have these necklaces. What should we do with these?
Just holding up these gold necklaces in the middle of a tavern.
Ooh,
What should we do with these?
We took these from people. What are we gonna do with them now?
Now we look like brigands.
Bad guys. Incompetent bad guys.
In some ways we have to be careful because we're starting from square one in the Ascendancy. They don't know of our exploits here, I'm sure. We have a whole, we have, well, depending on how loud Phineas Lonesong is.
I'm gonna say Aelin rejoins with a glass of warm milk that she's gonna put her herbs into. But she's gonna say, I do have a little bit, the Knights of the Ruby Throne, we will have some sway, they will know me, so we shouldn't have problems while we're here.
And I've got some connections around the city as well.
I might perhaps avoid my connections here, but I don't see that being a problem.
And I'll avoid some of my connections as well as best I can.
You know me, I'm like a feather on the wing.
Something like that.
As you guys revel in your many victories on this journey, surviving mostly, you go to your respective chambers. They are a bit too small. Your feet stick over your bed, but it is a very comfortable, nice feather down
I
bed.
am 5'2".
You don't,
I am fine.
but the rest of you guys,
I keep forgetting the bells is that short.
no. But the majority of the party is not
Halfling size.
that short. Yeah, Cyrus is kind of short, but not
Yeah.
that short.
5'6", I believe.
Yeah,
Mm.
so you're sticking over
fairly
a
short
little
for
bit.
a man.
It is.
Oh, man.
But
And I think I'm 5'9".
yeah,
Oh.
Elena's way tall.
I'm looking this up. 6'4".
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Quite tall.
So I'm gonna say the bed probably stops at her knees, and so she just kind of wraps her
Goodness.
shins down. On
Curls up a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
No, like lets her feet hang off.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
She straddles
Yes.
the bed.
No, like she's laying, and then it comes down to her knee length, so that her shins just hang off.
Yeah.
Yep.
She just
Yep.
bends her knees off.
Yeah.
Just like at a right angle down.
Yeah.
Inside of the bed frame.
Oh,
Yeah.
cute.
But sleep finds each of you eventually, and morning comes.
I'd be up early, seeing what's for breakfast. So
Sure.
just
Oops, sorry, I burped. Yeah, the same woman. Sorry, I burped. I'm sorry. It happens.
It's like going on mouthfully.
Yeah, probably. Knowing Jeremy.
We'll see.
The woman at the bar, it's the same woman. She greets you up early. She's just kind of morning.
yes. Good morning.
I haven't gotten around to breakfast yet. Hold on. Didn't expect anyone to be up this early.
Oh, sure. Take your time.
Okay. Would you like a breakfast beer?
No. Is there anything warm? Perhaps some tea or?
Sure. We got tea. We got tea and we got coffee. Yeah.
Some coffee, perhaps.
Okay. She bustles back in to the kitchen, and you start to smell food come out, or food. The smell of food waft out from the kitchen. She does bring you a large jug of coffee, ground still in it at the bottom, but pretty good. And then eventually, each of you come down to breakfast and some sausage and some eggs and what look to be like kind of grits, as well as like some cooked wheat and millet, and kind of like a porridge.
Fun fact: Liz has never tasted grits.
Wow, really?
It's
Really?
such a southern thing.
Don't
that
know.
You kind of just take.
I know what that is, like theoretically, but I have never put it in my mouth.
See, I'm from Mississippi, so that's like, what?
Like I know, like cream of wheat is kind of like grits, but I know I tried it like sometime in my youth and didn't like it.
Nothing
So
like
I
grits.
I don't.
Oh.
Say it's
I don't
nothing
like grits.
Okay,
Oh, grits are great.
Uh,
I don't know.
I'm with you, Tyler. They just not very good.
I'll
I
eat
don't know
grits.
what they are. I know they're lumpy and brown, and you
Oh.
can make them savory or sweet.
Hominy.
Oh, what?
Hominy. They're made from hominy.
Grits are made from hominy?
Yeah. They're not really brown. They're more like white.
Yeah, they're more white. And they'll be different colors depending on what you put in them. But you put cheese in them, butter. I mean,
Right.
butter's great, obviously. Cheese is great. Bacon is.
Is it
the
like
best.
ground hominy?
Yeah.
Cool.
It's good. It really is good.
I'm sure.
Yeah, they're
I
great.
just never.
There's
Liz is shocked.
Yeah, anyway, there's a spot where you can go and get a bowl of grits.
If you eat
with
just
some
like
stuff in it.
plain grits, then yeah, that's gross because it tastes like nothing.
Yeah.
It just tastes like gritty.
It's like ground up
texture in your mouth.
hominy?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, it's like breakfast
Okay,
rice.
cool. Well, anyway,
It's-
grits exist.
rice is breakfast rice.
It's true, but I'm just saying it's.
What?
Never mind.
Rice is great for breakfast. They eat fried rice for breakfast all the time in Asia.
Anyway, Vinny really gets his snoozes on. Probably the last step of all of us.
Yeah. You come down. Everyone's halfway through breakfast, probably. Your hair's a little bit. Oh wait, no, you're very meticulous. with your
Yeah,
hair.
don't-
Yes.
it would be very good looking, but he would have slept in a little bit.
But you join your group at the table and get your breakfast. get your grits.
That's right.
And unless you have anything else, you guys can continue on your way out of town.
Go back to episode 1 where we thoroughly RP our breakfast, and we do something similar here.
It's fine. You can thoroughly RP your breakfast here if you want. I don't care.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah.
I would go probably get some rotten meat because I said I would.
Okay. There's not much rotting meat for sale, but there is meat that is
cheap meat.
old.
What's the cheapest
cheap
meat I can find?
Okay. You know, bone and gristle sort of meat.
Yes.
Okay. How many pounds of this are you getting? They probably have about
400.
60 pounds available.
60.
Yeah, this is not
All
a
of
giant town.
I would get all of it
Okay.
then.
Just buying up as
In
much awful meat
memory
as they have.
of Vern, I
I'm
would
gonna
buy
say-
as much as possible.
With
Too much.
I'm gonna say 8 gold pieces for that.
That's such a bargain.
It really is.
I'll
God.
take it.
I mean, considering
I'll
the binds
take
that
it.
it's gotten us out of.
I mean, that's more than a silver a pound.
But that's
I'll take it.
cheap. Cheap. And good. Just what we wanted.
Well, what's his name? Vinny would ask for some juice. Is there any juice?
Oh, sure. We have a few. Do you want apple or pear?
I'll take pear.
Okay. This is pulled straight from the orchards outside.
I know. I saw them coming in. I tasted some of the fallen fruit on the ground.
Oh, well.
Delicious.
Ozran is very welcoming in terms of its natural bounty. That's why a lot of folk move here.
Do you happen to have any au jus?
A what?
Any au jus?
What's that?
It's a dip.
Yeah.
It's basically like beef stock flavored with onion.
I can cook some onions and beef stock. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's probably more than that. I probably did
Is that-
something to like.
That's
pretty close.
probably. I mean, onions and beef stock is pretty close to like just French onion soup,
Exactly.
I can
but it
make
doesn't
something.
taste that different. I mean, it's the same type of.
Add some garlic, some other things. But yeah. And she
That sounds like you
Back.
got a stew going. That's a good idea.
A breakfast stew.
I'll probably roll it into lunch. If I make it, I'm not just gonna, make it special for one person, but
Oh, of course. Some au jus with toast would be just lovely.
okay,
Oh,
well,
what
I'll
is
be
your
right
deal?
back. About 30 minutes later, she comes back because it takes a while to make things. Here you go.
So the question of what is Cyrus's deal? He's lived in Urungal, like this cosmopolitan area where they just have like all these different like tastes here and there.
Yep.
And he just picked up some things that he liked that just seemed kind of random anywhere else you go.
Yep.
But he nevertheless will always rather than read the signs, he'll just order.
Yes.
Like
Oh, man.
rather than be like, probably
Yes.
don't have au jus here. He'll just say,
Make some.
"Do you have I'll have au jus. I'll have
You'll figure it out.
Here's the recipe.
Oh.
The funny thing is like when you're in big cities, these requests seem normal, and people are just like, yeah, okay, we get traders in, and we get like all sorts of ingredients and cultures. And then when you go to a small town, they're like, oh, what?
Yeah.
What's this? But you have your breakfast. You get your very cheap, gritty, gristly meat. Is there anything else you'd like to do before saddling up the old mules?
Would there be any way for me to sell any of the weapons that we've found?
Sure. There's probably a smith who could use it for slag and melting things down.
Sure, I would try to sell what we've.
For scrap.
Yes.
You're saying that their stuff was so bad that it just melted down. Yeah, this will never benefit anyone else ever again. We
Yep.
need to melt it down.
Well, there's not much need for martial prowess in this area.
The
More
few-
for horseshoes.
Feeding your swords into plowshares. I love Ozran.
There you go.
That's where we're at.
It's fewer crossbows on the streets, as you might say.
Yeah.
So, there's a older halfling smith who you appraise all these weapons. How many were there? Were 4 scimitars and 4 light crossbows?
Crossbows, yeah.
Okay. Oh, well, I can melt down the swords, and I can use these crossbows. They have good wood. I can do something with those. Let's see, 4 and 4. That's 8. I'll give you 50 gold for everything.
Okay, having spent considerable time in Urungal, would I think that these would get more?
No.
So this is a good
This is
place.
probably scimitars are worth about 25 gold each.
Yep.
In terms of depreciation of value, since he's melting it down for scrap, he's probably not valuing it very high. Same with the crossbows that he's using for spare wood.
Sure.
In Urungal, they probably wouldn't even be melted down for scrap because they're not very nice weapons.
Okay.
But in Urungal, there's a larger population of people saying, well, the only thing to stop a bad guy with a crossbow.
Oh no.
Good guy with a crossbow.
Hold on. Content that we don't post on our Twitter.
That's the wrong type of
The Guild of Goodwill does not enter into this kind of discord.
It's true.
Remember?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
please see
then
our
I
Twitter
would
for all
just
of our political hot takes.
sell them.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're
For
all
like
there.
50 gold.
All of
Yeah.
the ones we have are
All
there.
of them.
Yeah,
Yes.
he takes out a small chest and counts out his gold pieces. He doesn't look like he has, a huge amount of gold, but he counts out about half of the little chest. And, I can make good use out of this. Thank you so much. You have a nice day.
Kinda
Yes,
wanna
you too
go
as well.
Sell some of my stuff.
So I'd bring that back to the group
Sure.
and say, here's 50 gold.
Oh, wow. And the meat?
You say, of course, I acquired that as well.
And how much was it?
It was 60 pounds for
It was 8 gold, right?
Right.
8 gold. It's all taken care of in my account.
Okay.
That's a wonderful bargain.
So 8 gold.
Great job, Bells.
I took it out of my account already.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
And then you got the 50 and put it in your account?
I haven't done that yet,
Okay.
but I will.
So 50 gold. Okay, so we're up 80 gold from that experience. 2 notices. Cool. I'll distribute this out to you guys after the game. I'm kind of keeping a tab.
Keep it running down.
Okay.
Neat.
Cool.
All right. Well, shall we get going?
I
Yeah,
suppose
there
we
is
must.
somewhat
Time as any.
urgency.
If we weren't pressing on and trying to travel quickly, then isn't this a lovely town to stay in and rest in? But us moving on.
So, you start to head out of town, this time on a road. The first road you've seen in 8 days? Something like that. Mostly dirt at first, but then with some cobbles every now and then, you start to enter into the kind of the bread basket of the country. This idyllic farmland that's it's transformed from rolling hills to orchards and wild grains to now you see farmland every now and then. You see swaths of wheat growing in fields and in ranches with cows every now and then. Not anything, not even a village, but just isolated farms, it would seem. Could I have everyone, or not everyone, could I have someone roll 2d20s? 2d20s for me.
Like 19, baby.
19.
No, I
and-
didn't. I just said, come on.
Oh.
No! Ooh.
I rolled 1 too. Or did you roll both?
She said 19 and then rolled a 19.
That's what just happened.
Is that what happened?
Yes.
I saw the 19 on the screen.
18.
18.
If you listen back in the recording, listeners, If you rewind the tape, you can hear me say 19, and then I gasped.
Has you rolled a 19?
This has probably never happened to anyone who's rolled dice ever. They've probably never asked for a number.
Never.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that reminds me. I'm a divination wizard, and I keep forgetting to roll my divination rolls.
So,
Okay.
So
as you progress throughout the day, clouds gather in the sky, and rain starts to pitter-patter on the ground.
Are we traveling now?
On the road, yeah.
Okay.
you'd say as Vinny is kind of leaving the orchards of Ozran, he would also kind of, just the peacefulness of it and the juxtaposition of the urgency coming out of Drasba and all of the, all of these things going on in his mind. Everything just seems so peaceful. He thinks back to what his patron told him. And he thinks, is this what you meant by following my heart? This is something. And he is thinking that because he's reminded of his patron, because she's always luring him with like scents, flora and fauna and things like that, and he's reminded by that. And he's like, so far, this is probably the best decision and one of the best days that I've had.
And as you're kind of talking to her, there's this little teeny tiny snap of what sounds like a twig, and you're thumped in the head with an apple falling from one of the trees on your way out. You feel the mischievousness of your patron as she acknowledges you in a small gesture.
A float.
Oh dear.
Are you quite all right?
Oh yes. It's nothing. This apple fell on my head.
Well, it's in your hand. You might as well enjoy it.
Isn't it a gift?
Certainly will.
As
You are a spry one, but I will find you.
Sure.
As you proceed, the rain soaks the road. Start to make ruts with your wagon. And there's, how like everything kind of looks like drier, more yellow in terms of grass when it's like hot. As the rain kind of soaks this,
We live in Texas.
Yeah.
Yes, we understand.
it soaks the land. All the greenery just kind of pops out more vibrant, and it's really just so striking how fertile this area is compared to even to the Alanka lowlands, which is more silty, kind of marshy, but does have fertility. But this is like very, very fertile land. And about halfway through the day, through the clouds, you do spot a shadow cutting through the clouds. A bird-shaped shadow.
The same bird.
I hate the bird.
That seems to pass overhead.
I knew it. I rolled 19 again.
It's like 3 19s.
I think it was an 18 and then 2 19s, actually.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing we put more meat.
Which is a good thing.
But it
indeed.
does seem to pass overhead and doesn't seem to
Circle.
hone in on your position.
The benefit of having this meat is that it's actually probably somewhat worth eating if we need it.
Because it's not quite as
Rancid.
yes, it's rancid.
Should we salt it? Preserve it?
Do we have any salt?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
We do have quite a bit of salt.
not 60 pounds of meat salt.
Oh, yeah,
but
that's right. Yeah.
Excellent.
Sure, we'll salt it.
As you travel, you salt some meat. in the rain.
Cyrus will just be in the back,
Rainy,
salting
salting
meat.
meat.
D&D, like right there, Tyler wrings his hands at
I'm
his
going
players.
to cast Tensor's floating disc
Of course.
directly
Oh, nice.
above me.
Yeah, you got a little umbrella.
So I can salt the meat back there.
So how many pounds of our 60 pounds of meat are you salting?
As much as you
Much
can.
as I can.
So you're out of salt, and you probably have about 10 pounds of salted meat mixed in with your regular meat.
Great.
Yeah.
We can eat the salted meat.
No, it's now salted meat in the inventory. It takes up another slot. So we put that in a different
Yeah.
interplanar dimensional space.
It's been
Yeah.
altered chemically.
Yeah, so it's a different item.
It's a different item. now.
Haven't you played any video
We crafted
game?
an item, everyone. We crafted
Crafting.
salted meat.
Can't wait to do more crafting.
But the day comes to a close unless you have anything else, as well as the next couple of days. Travel for about 3 more days. The rain
The
falling.
rock.
The rock circling. Can I have another couple of d20 rolls for me for the last
I'm going to roll it.
I'll
this
do
time.
one.
Okay,
Just see what I
gladly.
get.
I surrender.
final push to earn
Another
A
No.
19.
to
She
roll.
rolled a
I
19.
said
It was
it
the other.
first, and I rolled an 18. No, I'm kidding. A 17.
a 17.
And I rolled a 9.
Okay.
Okay, so the good news, the rain and clouds hold up. The bad news, you see the rock flying around again,
Sorry, guys.
and it doesn't notice you.
Yay!
I've been rolling at disadvantage because cloud cover, and that's been saving your bums, because he'll roll like
How
18s
many
or
slots
20s.
on this table is that rock?
The
Oh
thing
my
is,
gosh.
This rock is so far from his natural habitat at this point. You know he's following us because of the meat that we gave him. So we're luring
It's like a stray kitten.
That is
Yeah.
what's happened. Yeah.
So wait, we
that's
can tame.
what I
We can
was
tame this
saying.
rock,
This
right?
We
bird.
could tame it.
I was. Should
Haven't
we?
you seen the rescuers down under with the giant
I
eagle?
have seen that.
Yeah.
So we gotta befriend it
We should.
and then
And-
ride on its back.
We-
and
It
get the
only
glory.
makes sense.
This is the perfect plan.
Let's do
I can craft a harness, I believe, or at least a saddle.
Then
And
we'll
I
take
can-
that harness and it'll be in a separate item slot than all of our leather.
Yes.
Once you craft the harness.
Yes.
Of course. What other way would there be?
Well, you wouldn't mix it in with the leather that you already had.
Of course not.
No, it's a crafted
Of course
item.
not. We're not savages here.
However, all leather can be tanned with the same mink oil.
Yes.
So you're trying to lure the rock down?
No.
Nope.
We're,
Wait.
We're gonna formulate a plan before we do that.
I don't think we should do that.
Maybe
I mean,
on the way
you can
back.
do it.
Maybe on the way back.
I'm sure we could lure it down, but I don't have any confidence in anyone as an animal handler, a bird trainer.
Yes. No,
if
I
one
don't.
of us had a
think-
hawk, if one of us was a ranger who had a hawk on their shoulder and they had trained birds before,
Perhaps, yes.
then I would be sure. Let's see what happens.
Correct.
But nobody has any
No.
falconing experience, any experience with
Okay.
birds at all.
Exactly.
But I do have a +1 to animal handling.
I have a
I don't
+2,
trust it.
but we're not going to count that because
Plus
it's
2 is-
almost nothing.
It's more like horseback riding at plus
Yes,
1 and 2.
correct.
It's,
Yes.
you need more
We're
like a
not
plus
going-
7.
+1 is
for rock.
like
Correct.
+1 is like petting dogs.
Yes.
Could
we're
you
not going
imagine
to
if?
count that
Could you?
as
Oh,
anything significant?
could you imagine if someone sank, like dumped their, they're like, I don't know, like pump the wisdom up, and took like
Just-
proficiency in
just
animal
handle.
handling?
Proficiency in animal handling, and then got expertise in animal
Yes,
handling.
and then wrote to their backstory that they were a animal master.
Is this person a rogue or a bard to get expertise?
Yes.
Yeah,
They have to be.
It would have to be
A,
Well,
a bard-
master bard?
a bard whose like skill that they bring to the table is animal handling.
yeah.
That'd be very strange. I'll give
Let's
him that.
meet him on the road.
What if the promo, like the listener, if you create a character sheet for this rogue that is, or this bard that is proficient
Yes.
with animals and maybe birds, and if Tyler might feature them as a character if you make the character. I don't know. That's like a
Put some characters in the Discord. Maybe I'll toss one in. I don't know.
Regardless.
You heard it here
We're not
first,
actually
folks.
going to do this right now.
So you
We're
press
just gonna
on,
keep going.
Yeah.
ignoring the,
Oh, it's
the
so
shadow.
empty.
No, we're
I
not.
bring nothing to the table.
Absolutely not.
After another few days of travel, under
Few
light
days?
rain. I'm skipping a lot of the travel.
Great,
Just,
let's do it.
You've traveled for what seems like an eternity, with much of your known world at stake, while you are kind of helpless. As mid-morning sets in, the rain clears. And the sun starts to the mid-morning sun starts to glare down. Bright in the morning, almost blinding you. And as you press forward, there's this horizon of shimmering light that even as the sun rises, that shimmer hangs in the distance. As you make your way closer, the shimmer takes form recognizable to three of you. Shining in the afternoon sun now, as it becomes afternoon, is Proud Gleam Fortress, standing mighty and unshaken, the grand city of Urungal sprawling below it. As you push forward, the road drifts in a southeastern direction toward the southern wall. The walls are these tall, nondescript ones, the color of ash, and a hill rises under the western walls and flows down into the city. It has 5 sides to it, seemingly in a pentagonal shape, and the southern wall has a large gatehouse that sits what seems to be closed tightly. To the west, large camps are being raised, and the smoke from cook fires and forges is floating lazily above it. You arrive at Urungal. So, what would you like to do?
Well, looks like they're preparing for a fight, doesn't it?
Just remind me, Tyler, where would the Ascendancy, Justicars, where would I have trained?
They're in Palmer Square, or Palmer Corner,
Okay.
which is in the northeastern quadrant of
Okay.
the city.
And we're arriving in the southwest.
The only gate
Okay.
into the city is on the southern edge of the Pentagon.
Okay.
So there's the southern edge, and then there's the other walls
Sure. Okay.
expanding out.
Well, perhaps we should secure some lodgings.
Yes, that makes
Stable
sense.
mules?
Yes, I can take care of that quite easily.
Are we in the town yet?
Nope.
Because it's a fortress, so we need to. Before we talk about lodgings, let's talk about getting in. Bells, you and I should probably approach and do most of the talking.
Yes, that makes sense.
Well, hang on. I've lived here for 35 years or so.
Well, why don't you come up to the front with us then? But let's at least make our approach.
And I think they're probably, this is just my thought, probably very suspicious of any newcomers at this point.
I have
so.
lived here for several years now. I wouldn't consider myself a newcomer.
But I have never been here. And so...
We'll be fine. Let's just let's approach.
Bring the cart to the gate, and there are Justicars as well as Hammer Wardens manning the gate. One of them approaches and looks around. Good evening. Welcome to Urungal. What news, what business brings you here?
What would make the most sense for me to say?
What do you mean?
Like, I feel like
live
knowing
here.
the Justicars, having been a Justicar, I would know what to say.
Sure, like to get past them, maybe?
Sure, just to get in the city.
Sure. I
Like
mean,
what?
you could say something like, like we serve a merchant. We have business within the city or something like that. I mean,
Right.
just some sort of legitimate sounding reason for being
Right.
where you are. Whether that's that, whether it's my friend works with the Quintessence,
Yes.
stuff like that.
Great.
Go with the quintessence.
Hang on, is that Mike back there?
Are you pointing at like a guard?
Yeah. Is that Mike?
Me?
Yeah. Oh wait, no. I had you confused. Is there a Mike in your regiment? I think there's a Mike in your regiment.
My name's Gav. My regiment, Mike. There's a Mikey.
Yeah, that's him. Just had a baby, right? Or his wife did.
No.
Well, tell him congratulations for me. Anyways, we're just coming back from some travels.
He's with the Quintessence, and we're just trying to get him reunited with his belongings.
Oh. Do you have any papers, proof, anything?
I have a emblem of the Ruby Throne that I'm going to go ahead and present as my identification.
Oh, why didn't you say so? Open up.
Well, I didn't say so because I was trying to be polite. I thought that was Mike.
Mikey. The red
Mikey,
one.
yeah.
Old Mike. But the gates.
Oh, now that I think about it, he's with the northern unit. Never mind.
It's okay. The
I know people here.
the gates open up onto the what is called the Sojourner's Wedge, where a lot of the travelers come in. This is more bustling inns and taverns, and there's a permanent market that's open 24 hours. But this is the more, this is where the visitors stay. If you don't live in the city, you usually don't stay anywhere else besides here. But where are you guys heading as you come into this massive city? It's classic stone buildings, some wattle and daub, but mostly stone. Mostly freestanding, large, luxurious streets. Street lamps with like oil lanterns in them. A very nice city.
I think the first order of business is to reacquaint Master Cyrus with his belongings. Then I might take cues from you, Venuthra, on looking for this seedy underbelly of the city.
Certainly. As I mentioned before, I put out, I sent a letter to an old friend. And perhaps I let that friend know that we would be in Urungal. We have not deviated, but I am a little uncertain as to whether or not this person will respond, and if they do respond, if their response would have made it here at this juncture, especially given the recent political upheaval. So, as long as, and the reason I should say is because that person is in Urungal. So I don't know how much traffic there will be back and forth through Urungal.
Good point.
But, sometimes there are ways of getting past those things. Allegiances, for some people, have nothing to do with politics. And so, we shall see. It will be, let's start by going to the Quintessence Pursuant to see if they have kept your belongings at the behest of Top Rule, and then we can head to, I guess it would be an inn or the messaging place.
Oh, Behrman's Momentary Missives. It's a
every-
franchise.
It's
Yeah.
a franchise. Okay.
Sure,
I
yes,
love it.
that's the one.
Yes,
of
that's where
course.
we would go.
Um,
Momentary missives.
It is pressing in on evening right now. Do you guys want to? It was a long journey to Urungal. You spotted it probably early morning, but it's so immense. But by the time you got to the city, it's now around evening.
Yeah,
So-
it may be a better idea to go to the Quintessence during business hours. But we could stop by the corn dog stand over there. Like it's Like, it's a pretty bustling place. I mean, that's kind of the hot spot around town.
So around,
If you're in the know.
so sure, we can stop for
Yeah, get some
corn
dogs.
Is it the hot spot around town? Can I roll a check, an insight to
Sure.
see if it really is?
I mean, you've been here occasionally. It's one of a few hotspots. Street food is, an
Fry
important
meats.
feature to the city. It's like New York pizza, kind of, where it's really cheap but pretty good.
Okay.
Old
But-
Greg's fry meats.
I'm trying to gauge whether or not Cyrus is making it sound more like he
Yes.
knows more about the city than he does.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, roll insight.
14.
Okay, are you based on that insight check? Does she incite that you're trying to impress them with your knowledge of the city?
No, Cyrus just really likes this corn dog place right there.
Wow, okay.
I mean, he's lived here for 35 years, and maybe he's not the most savvy in terms of like where the youths are actually hanging out.
Sure.
But he does know what he likes.
So as you approach the corn dog stand, you see the patron of the establishment, this large, portly dwarf, kind of peek back from around his stand. Cyrus! How long's it been?
Oh, it's been about.
Let me fix you up with a dog.
You know,
Like, goes
I'll have
back.
my usual.
So, you got
right.
new friends?
Yeah, I do. This is Alin and Vinuthra. You can call him Vinny. And Bells.
Alright, well, dogs for all. He starts handing you
Thank you.
fried corn paste, wrapped around a sausage,
A corn dog.
a corn dog.
I
What's his stand called? Does he have a sign?
No, it's just Moe's corn dogs.
Mo.
Moe's.
hand mine over to Vinny.
Thank you. And Vinny's loving it.
Vinny's a double fister,
Yeah.
That's what we call him around here. When you got the two dogs, you're double dogging.
Double dog. Right, double dogging.
Tell you what, if you eat enough of old Moe's corn dogs, I'll get your portrait on my cart.
A portrait?
Yeah, if you can eat enough.
I
Can you
will.
eat enough?
It's a challenge.
Yes,
I
do it. You have to.
Let's
have.
see.
Many
Do you
have
love
failed.
a
I
challenge?
must.
I'm gonna pour him a glass of red wine and say, "Trust me, this will come in handy."
All right.
Can I cast compel duel to inspire a sense of competitiveness in Venuthra?
I don't think that's how the spell works, unfortunately.
Yes, it does. Come on, come on.
All right,
Shove
here we
lots
go.
of corn dogs
Are
in
you
his
ready?
mouth.
So what's the challenge?
40.
Wait,
I'm sorry, you said 4.
40 dogs.
40 or 14?
All right.
40.
40. And how many? How much per dog?
If it's free if you win.
Well, you have
We
to
shall
win.
see.
Yep,
We shall see.
Absolutely.
Well, I must win, and I will take. You handed me a glass of wine. From where did you? From whence did this wine come?
I don't know.
I've got a bottle
Okay.
tucked in my robes.
Okay.
His
I'm gonna have to dock you some money.
special red wine.
Yeah. I think he ordered a bottle earlier. You
I
gave him
did
You
order
did.
a bottle.
Oh, you
You
ordered
did.
a bottle?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I charged you poorly. It's fine.
Okay. So is it like a gold bottle? Because you charged him 2 silver.
Yeah, it's like a gold bottle for not very nice wine.
Great, perfect.
All right. That's all right. Great. Excellent. All right.
So
well,
he starts to stack a small plate with corn dogs and starts to yell out, "Looks like we got a challenger!"
Oh,
to the
no.
crowd. Everyone starts to kind of gather around in anticipation.
goodness.
Well, you might have underestimated me. I may be small in stature. However, I am very hungry from a long journey.
Alright, well, Mo's got need of more portraits on his cart. He's only got 2 right now.
Excellent.
Cyrus
Here
is
we
going
are.
to point at one of them and say, "How's old Fingers doing? Has he been by lately?"
Come and go. A little more spotty.
Yeah,
He's a little more busy.
I'll have to drop in on him later.
He's got all that business going on.
I'm so mad right now. I'm so mad.
You're just pounding dogs right
All right,
now.
here we go. Let's go.
Okay.
Fingers.
Roll a Constitution saving throw for the first 10 dogs,
The first 10.
Oh, here we go.
as they'll say on the internet, glizzies.
Oh no.
8.
8.
Oh no.
You're starting to get pretty full, but you're pressing on.
Okay.
Another con
At this
save.
point, he's definitely started dipping into the wine.
Oh no,
Like
the
dipping
Cyrus.
the dogs into the wine.
I'm going to use a portent roll on the next one. It's a 16.
16, you start to find your second wind. Start doing your breathing exercises,
Breathing exercise.
and you start taking the corn dog 2 bites at a
All
time.
right, here we go.
Almost
No.
full down down your gullet.
No, thank you. That's disgusting. Let's
That's a mouthful. Eh?
No.
Can we call that sound glizzy gulping?
Oh no! Can I
All
have
right,
a
here we go. Here we
third con
go.
save for me.
Cocked. 10. Ah,
Your stomach starts to cramp. You can't eat anymore. You get about 25 in.
Oh.
I can't go on anymore.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That will be 25 copper pieces, lad.
I would just pay that for him.
Thank you.
No,
Thank
no,
you.
no, no, no.
His honor.
It was for me.
Pride.
25 is respectable.
25. They're very good corn dogs, and I am.
Of course they are.
I gladly pay.
Nope. 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 It's already done.
If it's one thing that's annoying, it's fighting over money. He just grabs the coins out of Belsa's hand. Well,
Oh, you certainly know what you're doing.
was this your
these
first eating establishment to visit in Urungal?
I guess so. I suppose so.
welcome.
This is actually my first journey into Urungal.
Yeah, this is first 10 minutes in the city. Just
Welcome.
really getting the whole Urungal experience just right up front.
Yeah. Well, if there's anything else I can do for you,
And
Come
what
my
was your
way.
name again?
Mo.
Mo. Pleased to meet you. Venuthra. Vinny.
I'm sorry. I'm just really hungry, and y'all can hear a stomach growl. I'm really hungry. Do you have any of that paste, like that grits?
Like the mashed corn pieces.
Yeah. Do you have
Yeah,
that?
I could. Do you just
Just a
want
bowl.
that fried up?
Sure.
Okay. Drops some like mashed corn paste into a cauldron of hot oil under his cart.
Oh. Okay.
Under
Takes
his
it out.
cart.
Oh my gosh, corn nuggets. Yes.
Yep. That is what you're
Like
eating.
puts it into a little like wooden bowl and puts some salt on it. I've never done that before, but kind of looks good.
I like take a bite, and it looks like when you bite into a Chicken Express corn nugget.
Yeah.
Yep.
It is delicious.
You should really consider selling these
He
as
like
a side dish.
reaches into your bowl and takes a piece. Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah, I'll add it. That's good.
Glad to help.
I'll call it a corn bowl.
Corn.
Corn ball?
Bowl.
Instead of a dog,
Yeah, corn ball.
a ball.
Yeah, a bowl. You know, like one you kick around on the ground.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like a corn ball bowl.
A bowl of corn balls.
All right. Anyway,
Just have a dog on the side.
so Barlaman's momentary missives. Shall we stop by on the way to? Well, I don't know where to stay. Does anyone have a home here that we can? How does that work?
I mean,
you lived here for
Well,
26 years.
sure, yeah. I mean, I've got friends around
You
town,
can
but
stay in Cyrus's dorm.
I've got my dorm room, but
You don't anymore.
yeah, that might be a little bit of a dicey situation. And I've got friends around town, but I mean, there's 4 of us just kind of dropping in.
Cyrus, we would know of like some sort of inn to stay in.
So you,
Sure,
you
yeah.
two especially
Yeah.
would know a few of them. Cyrus, you would know probably most of the places here. If you want to stay here in the not the Anointed Crest, the Sojourner's Wedge, there are 2 pretty famous inns. One being the Trebuchet Tavern, and the other being the Amnesiac's Pub.
That would be the furthest away from like the northern area that I would have experience in, right?
Yeah. So
Okay.
this is still in the
Eastern side, southeastern side.
the southern portion of the city.
Okay.
So it is where everyone enters, and then there are there are a few more ritzy places if you want to stay in somewhere a little more nicer. Cyrus, in the southeastern side of the city, it's called the Bronze Canton. The inn that you're thinking of would be called Martel's Hammer.
Okay.
But I think
I would highly suggest whatever inn I would know of that's the furthest away from the like Justicars.
sure. I mean, both of those places are pretty far from where most of the Justicar trainees frequent, but you also don't know how many trainees are there right
Sure, right. Sure.
now. But as you guys head to Barrowman's Momentary Missives, I think that's where we're going to call it.
Okay.
All right.
Welcome to
All right,
Urungal.
then.
Welcome to Corn Dog Land.
Yeah.
Corn dog.